I am not a huge bagel fan, but I do like them every once in a while, and I've kind of been craving them. I had purchased some Sola brand ones and tried them out, and they were pretty good for being keto products, except that they just kind of upset my stomach, which tends to happen with those kind of products. The like breads and things like that can upset your stomach. And so I could only eat like half of a one at a time. And it wasn't as satisfying as I would have liked. It was good, but I feel like I can maybe make it better or at least I hope that I can make it better. So I am going to make some bagels. I have 6 ounces of shredded mozzarella cheese here. I'm going to get it into my microwave and I'm going to melt it in 30-second intervals. While that is happening, I'm going to go ahead and measure out a quarter cup of my coconut flour. And I think I have made something similar to this. It's fathead dough. But I think I used almond flour. So this time I'm using coconut flour because that's actually what my recipe calls for is coconut flour. But I'll be interested to see what the difference is. I had made it was like breadsticks that I made, and then I ended up dipping them in like an olive oil seasoning like dip. And they were really, really good, but it'll be interesting to see the difference in the two. Okay, it has been 30 seconds. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to stir it a little bit and then get it back in for another 30 seconds. I need a teaspoon of baking powder. And I need a little less. I need 3/8 of a teaspoon, which is kind of difficult to measure out. So just a little less than half of a teaspoon is what I need of my xanthan gum. All right, so this is half a teaspoon, and I'm just gonna take a little more out. There we go. And my cheese is done with that 30-second interval. So I will stir it again. And get it back into my microwave. And then I'm just going to stir these ingredients together using my measuring spoon because I don't like to dirty dishes. Although I'm probably going to have a dirty dish anyway, but we'll just have to see. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so then I need to add my cheese to my flour mixture. Okay. Kind of start getting those mixed together. I'm actually going to use my hands here because I think they're going to be the best tool for the job. And then I'm going to add my egg to it also. I'm just going to try and work that flour mixture into the cheese. It smells like coconut. Which I guess once that coconut is kind of warmed, right, then it's going to smell, the flour is going to smell more strongly like coconut. Okay, I'm going to add my egg. these all mixed together. I'm trying to kind of like break up that cheese a little so I can get the other ingredients really mixed into it. But I feel like this time it's not kind of going as smoothly as it did last time. Like last time I was kind of surprised at how easily I kind of had this dough, but I'm really having to work it a lot more this time. In fact, I think it says, you know, if it gets to the point where you can't really work it, to put it back in the microwave. So I think I'm gonna do that because it's just not quite coming together. And I'll start with just 15 seconds. I have a baking sheet here that is lined with parchment paper and then sprinkled with some coconut flour. That's what I'm going to be baking my bagels on. Okay, so that was 15 seconds. And I'm just gonna see if I can work this a little better. It's also like really hot, which makes it hard to work. Ouch. Like it's painful. Ouch. I don't know. I'm not sure about this recipe. But we'll see what happens. Sometimes I'm really surprised. And a lot of times I'm really disappointed. Okay, I think this is actually starting to work. Okay. So I used a half recipe for this. I tried to use the smallest recipe I could because I'd really rather just try one, right? And then, oh yeah, that was good. Let's, make that again rather than have like all this food go to waste. But because of the egg, I didn't want to like try to get a quarter of an egg, and really even just getting half of an egg can be pretty difficult. So that's why I did a half. So I should have 4 bagels here once I am done. Okay, so I need to, I forgot to turn on my oven. I need to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And then I'm just going to try and kind of break this in half as evenly as I can. And then break each of those halves into half as evenly as I can. Okay, so then you're supposed to kind of form them into a log. And then use those logs to create a circle. Which I feel like my ends are just too thin. And then kind of press them together. All right, there's one. And then I've also got a tablespoon of butter that I melted, and I'm going to brush that over the top once I've got the 4 of these made. And you can add like seasoning to it, like you could make whatever kind of bagel you might want to make, like garlic onion, or you could probably add some kind of like blueberry flavoring, maybe extract, or like vanilla to make it a little bit of a sweeter one. You could put everything bagel seasoning on top, something like that. But I just want plain bagels because that's what I like, is plain bagels. I think I meant to add a little bit of salt to it because I thought I would want some salt. So I might sprinkle a bit of salt on top. Okay, so there's my bagels. And then I've just got my butter here to brush over the top. And I probably won't use all of this butter. I'm actually only supposed to use half a tablespoon. But sometimes when you have so little butter to try and baste with, then you can't really get any butter on your baster because it's really hard to get it on there. So I used a whole tablespoon, but I'm not actually going to use the whole tablespoon. Okay, and then like I said, I wanted to sprinkle a little bit of salt on top. My first one you can see is kind of a mess, but my other ones really don't look too bad, I don't think. Okay, once my oven is preheated, I will get these in and bake them for 15 to 20 minutes. My bagels are out of the oven. They are nicely golden brown and they seem to be done. So I'm just going to allow them to rest for a bit before I try one. I'm ready to try my bagels. They're still warm from the oven, but I did want to kind of toast mine because I don't know, I like that crunch, that you kind of have on the outside, which I do have from like, my tops are nice and golden, but I want that part that I'm going to put my cream cheese on, I want that to also be nice and golden. But I can't do it in my toaster just because they're so small that it's going to be really difficult to get them out of my toaster. So I'm using just a dry skillet to try and toast them in. Oh, and they are getting toasted. I don't know if you can tell, but they are getting toasted. So I'm just going to let those toast and then put a bit of cream cheese on top of it. And then actually, I'll try it without the cream cheese first. And then I'll try it with the cream cheese just because I want to kind of like really try it. Here we go. This one's done. Okay, so I'm just going to cut myself off a piece of this and taste it. It's not bad, but it doesn't taste like a bagel. It tastes like cheese. I'm going to try it with my cream cheese, and maybe it would taste better once it's not warm from the oven. Like maybe then it'll kind of like solidify and kind of make more of a bread. And then you toast it, and then maybe it would be okay. I'm not sure. I'll have to try it and let you know. So I'm just going to put a little bit of cream cheese on, just plain Philadelphia cream cheese. And then I'll take another bite. That's better. Like it feels a little more like a bagel, but still quite a bit of strong cheese flavor. So I'll let them cool completely and then I'll try them again. All right, so I have let the other half of my bagel cool. And so now I'm going to try it again. I would say that's better. It doesn't have such a strong cheese flavor to it. Um, I it does taste a little salty, like maybe I didn't want to add that salt to it. But it's not bad. I'm not sure that it really tastes like a bagel, but it might be close enough. And it's definitely, I think, better than the Sola bagels that I had. So I'm going to try it with some cream cheese. It is better with the cream cheese. Um, I'm not sure that it's my favorite recipe. I might see if I can find some more. But I think like the Sola bagel, it does kind of like hit the spot for me. So like when I have that craving, then I can have this. I just wish it was just a little better. Like the flavor is just not quite there. Maybe if I made it with almond flour instead of coconut flour. I have a little bit of a coconut aftertaste. But it's not a strong coconut flavor like in it and of itself. It definitely tastes more like salty than anything. And it doesn't quite have the like soft, chewy inside of a bagel that you would normally have, and then you have like that crispy outside, which is just so delicious. So it'll suffice. It's not a bad recipe. I might make it again. I just wish that it was a little bit better.